Our affirmation today is, I feast on positive thoughts. And we know in our New Thought tradition that we absolutely do. If we allow ourselves to think positive, to visualize and know for certain that we're going to have great prosperity, that we're going to have a great family reunion, that we're going to get a great report card when we go to the doctor, then we know that that's going to manifest and become real. Whereas if we let ourselves become bogged down or think negative, that's going to become real because our thoughts have that much power. For as much power as they give us for the positive, if we affirm the negative, we have power to make that manifest as well. So as you're walking through your week, ask yourself the question, can I fast from negative thinking? And I know it's a challenge. I was just watching one of the morning news programs, and it's interesting how much new thought permeates into the regular world. And a psychologist was on and was speaking with the couple of ladies who host the show, and she was saying that a lot of research has been done on the fact that people do think negatively, and was bringing this to their awareness, how many times this happens. And it can be as simple as an example given was standing in line at the ice cream store, and maybe somebody ahead of you is kind of overweight, and your first thought might be, well, what is that person doing here? And, it was interesting because one of the hosts tried to say, oh, well, no, that's only because I'm concerned for their health. And of course, the person looked and said, really? No, you're just being, a negative thinker, because these things come to us. And so this is the kind of thing I'm referring to, is all this, because you know what? We're putting that out there, and it's that little drip and drab of poison that it does permeate your life if you let that happen. Whereas if we do think positive, and we fast from our negative thinking and leave only room for positive thinking, then of course our lives are going to manifest all that positive and that good thought, and we will reap the rewards of that. Fast from negative thinking and feast on positive thoughts. Feast on the positive thoughts. We know in a lot of conventional faiths, during the time of Lent, there's a lot of fasting, and then there's the Sunday feasting. But we don't get to talk about that too much in New Thought. However, we should. What we want to fast from are negative thoughts. And we're not even conscious of it, or they don't come to us consciously. We know that we can be driving down the road and somebody cuts you off, and probably the first thing that pops into your mind is, gosh, I hope that guy has a nice day. For a lot of us, something a little more negative pops into your mind first off. So what we want to do is fast from the negative thoughts about other people. If somebody does cut you off, or you get slighted in some way. But also very importantly is we want to fast from negative thoughts about our own selves. We want to not allow thoughts into our mind of issues of, gee, that would be good, but I can't afford that, or, oh, my tired old body, I'm not going to be able to get that done, or, oh, my family's so impossible to deal with, there's no way there's going to be peace in the holiday. These kind of negative thoughts, they permeate us a lot, and even if we don't mouth them, they're still there, they're still active, they're still going on in your mind. And then to reward yourself for the feast on positive thoughts. Feast on the positive, the wonderful positive thoughts. So we're going to fast from any negative thinking, and then we're going to feast on the positive thinking. And the good news is that while changing your thinking patterns is always a challenge, Lord knows I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, just change the way you're thinking, and that's going to be it overnight, because then we wouldn't need to come here every Sunday if that was that easy. And certainly I am the most challenged, because I can fall into this very same trap of letting a negative thought come into your mind, and it is a challenge to change your thinking. So it's an exercise. So this is our good first couple weeks. We're going to give ourselves just those 2 weeks and see how that works for you. Just really, really focus between now and Easter, the end of that Lenten season, because this is the time when we're supposed to be giving up something for Lent. We're going to give up our negative thinking for Lent. We're not going to let a positive thought come anywhere in our mind. So it's challenging to change our thought patterns, and there's no doubt about that. But we as New Thought students, we have access to the tools that make that possible. And one thing I wanted to emphasize is the greatest of these, and I've talked about this before, is self-forgiveness. So if we do have a day where life got the best of us and we let some negative thoughts permeate us and take us over and we had a bad mood, know that one of the best things that you have as a New Thought student is the power to self-forgive. Say, you know what, tomorrow's a new day. I can start all over. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to walk on and forget that that happened and take advantage of that. And of course, we have our affirmations and our meditation and our prayers. So there's a lot of things to reach out to when you do feel that negative thinking or the sometimes we just can get into a situation where we want to think negative, nasty things. Somebody did cut us off, and my goodness, you know what? If nothing else, I'm certainly going to think a nasty thing about you because that's going to make me feel better for the moment. But we know as New Thought students that in the long run it doesn't, because it permeates and it just creates this whole snowball effect of negativity. So if you can cut that to the quick, and certainly during these next 2 weeks, fast from negative thinking and feast on positive thoughts. And the good news is we can do that. So we can do that for the next 2 weeks. So I want to hopefully have everybody back next week and great reports during our joys and concerns about what a wonderful joy-filled week you had because you focused on feasting on positive thoughts and you were fasting from any negative thinking. And it turned your life around so much in 1 week that you're just very ecstatic and you can't wait to jump up and share that with us.